this is something that I find really interesting, that Codesign actually came from Sweden. One of the influences was from the 70s when they were designing workplace technology. They were using prototyping and cardboard, so the labour movement mandated that workers were involved in the design of new technology in the workplace. So co-design actually has a moral premise, and that's something that I think is a really important thing to acknowledge. So people are experts in their own domain. It involves designing with rather than designing for people. It's participatory, and by co-designing our solution, we create buy-in for change. And it's not just about workshops. It's about insight-driven design. To design the right solution, we have to define the right problem. People don't want a quarter-inch drill, people want a quarter-inch hole. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. I quite like this diagram. So we've got explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge, or implicit knowledge. This comes from Elizabeth Sanders, and she's a really great person who she's been involved in co-design for a very long time. We actually hosted her at Social Design Sydney, and Craig has put her video up on YouTube. It will be up in the next couple of days. She did a Saturday session, so if you'd like to hear about co-design from Liz, I encourage you to have a look. So to get to explicit knowledge, it's what people say, so we do interviews. To understand what they do, we use observation. But to understand what they make, know, feel and dream, we can use co-design. Co-design requires a design of methods for people to share their knowledge and discuss visions for the future. Liz calls co-design about designing scaffolds for participation. It's about creating mutual learning environments so that we can understand better and design better futures. I won't go into too much detail because we have a lot of case studies happening. This is a really quick one, a program I worked on for Family and Community Services. It was part of the Safe Home for Life reform. The program I worked on was called The Child's Story, and it was a design of online services to help support the child protection system. So that included families, carers, and young people, and workers. So we facilitated some workshops. I was looking at leaving care, and we came up with this concept of the digital suitcase. This was the product. This is what we actually created in the workshop. So through making, there was a bit of a tension. A lot of the people involved in the workshop weren't feeling very creative. So what we did is we did craft, we did prototyping. That's actually my brother's school bag from when he was like 5. We brought some craft materials in and got them to think about what are the things that young people might need throughout their journey with child protection. When they leave care, they leave with nothing. They don't have photos, they don't have birth certificates, they don't have hardly anything. They've often moved around a lot, sometimes just with a plastic bag full of clothes. So what could we do online that could help serve them as they left care and documented their journey through the child protection system? So this is just an example. Another thing we did was we brought in a filing cabinet. So we thought, what would the workers need to support the child journey through that time? And through craft and making, we really understand the context and design something that we could then translate into an actual online design. And I believe they're just rolling all this stuff out at the moment. A couple of other projects, but we've got other examples. So I want to leave with some questions, and I'm hoping that the other people who will be presenting tonight will address some of these. So the thing is now, when we're using co-design in social impact context, it's a very complex context. It's not about making a work, an app, it's not always about making some type of service in the workplace. It can involve whole systems change. It can involve, like we're going to be talking about policy, for example. So here's a couple of questions just to kind of open up some thinking. What makes co-design effective and ineffective in social impact contexts? Social innovation contexts are complex. As we move from the design of things to the design of systems, what role can co-design play in community, government and social sector contexts? How might co-design inform both the design and the delivery of interventions within complex systems, facilitating change over time and often with lots of different people? And how might we build people's capacity to participate in co-design? Inviting people to a workshop is not really what co-design is not really what it's about.